The Moragahakanda Reservoir, nestled on the enriching waters of the Amanganga, is a part of a larger project aimed at irrigating the dry zone areas of Sri Lanka, along with its counterpart, the Kaluganga Reservoir. According to the Mahaweli master plans of the 1970s, the Moragahakanda Dam was intended to take water all the way to the northern parts of the country. However, rising communal violence at the time put an end to that goal. Under the Mahaweli scheme that was restarted in the 2000s, the Moragahakanda Dam will only take water up to the Mahakandarava tank in Anuradhapura. Since its inception, the reservoir system irrigates Polonnaruwa, Trincomalee, Anuradhapura, Mathale, and will irrigate Kurunegala once the relevant constructions are complete. Thanks to this, farmers who would previously only farm during the Maha season are now also able to do so during the Yala season. A total of 100,000 hectares are being farmed annually thanks to the reservoirs, and cropping intensity has increased by 1.8%. Locals within the Knuckles forest were also grateful for the infrastructural benefits that the projects brought along.
Business හොඳයි. අලගෙන එනවා කට්ටිය දැන් වැඩි. කැලේ වගේ නිකම් කුට්ටක් අනිපාරක් ව්‍යාපාර හොඳයි.
මේ ව්‍යාපෘතිය හැදුනේ මේ මොරගහකන්ද ජලාශයත් එක්ක තමයි. ඒක ගොඩක් වැදගත් මේකට. මොකද මේක මේ කැලෑබද පෞරාණික ගමක් නෙමෙයි. මේ මෑතකේ තමයි ලයිට් මෙහෙට ආවේ. ඒ මොකට අපි මේ පාරක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඉතින් බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් තමයි මිනිස්සු ලෙඩ්ඩු එමේ ගෙනිච්චේ. දැන් මේ පාර එන එක ගොඩක් වටිනවා අපිට. නොදිනු ගම්නේ ඉතින් සංචාරක වෙන මිල ලස්සන දියල්ලක් තියෙන මේ පේරන්නේ. ඒක නිසා තමයි ගොඩක්ම ජනප්‍රිය වුනේ. ඉතින් හරිම වටිනවා අපිට මේ පාර මෙහෙනේ.
Internationally funded multi-million-dollar infrastructure projects are development keystones in countries like Sri Lanka. But the rapid decline of environments, bad planning, absence of data, and resource mismanagement have made them the enemy of sustainable development and conservation. The Moragahakanda Kaluganga project is considered a pioneering project in conservation compared to other such initiatives. However, this too is rife with allegations of severe ecological harm that could have been avoided.
Moragahakanda project, in our opinion, is probably the most destructive one, and as they say, probably the largest one, and also the largest destruction, simply because Moragahakanda was built in the middle of, or if not in the vicinity of, the Knuckles Conservation Forest, which is a World Heritage Site. Almost 4,500 hectares of pristine forest cover. We just submerged it, and we just completely took out the entire forest cover with some of these engineering failures, including a massive leak in the dam. The expected MFL increased, and they had to cut several roads, destroying several areas. They have also cut some of the other access routes inside the forest, cutting through the pristine forest areas, violating the EIA as well. And in that path itself, and on the approved road also, we had trees which are like 500 years old. The people who took out from the Knuckles Conservation Area, like the villages such as Rambukpalua, in fact those lands were resettled not because it was getting submerged, but as a catchment. But eventually they were allowed to cut all the trees that they had in their gardens, lands and whatever. You're taking out a village as a catchment area, and you're cutting all the forest down. So there is no logic there, no rationale there.
An alarming conservation crisis was the rapid disappearance of the great elephant gathering of Minneria, one of the greatest 10 wildlife wonders of the world, according to Lonely Planet. During the dry season between May and September, elephants gather on the dried out lake bed of the Minneria Reservoir to eat the fresh grass. During its peak in September, there are about 400 elephants. When food and water are plentiful, the social animals congregate in large herds, giving rise to the great elephant gathering in August and September. The abundance of resources also trigger their natural biological behaviors that provide the opportunity to observe unique behaviors that would otherwise not be seen. Since the construction of the Moragahakanda Reservoir in 2018, however, the Minneria Reservoir has been full during the dry season due to the unseasonal water releases that the irrigation authorities claim are for agricultural reasons. As a result, the Great Gathering has seen a 95% decrease. The numbers have dwindled from 400 elephants every year to just 20. This has exacerbated the human-elephant conflict in the area and has been extremely detrimental for tourism.
අපිට ලොකු ගැටලුවක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මින්නේරි වැව සම්බන්ධව මේකට අලි 200 300ක් වගේ අගෝස්තු මාසෙ වෙද්දී එනවා අනුරාධපුරෙන් සියලු පළාත් වලින් මොරගහකන්ද ජලාශය හැදීම නිසා ඒකෙන් මින්නේරි වැව වතුර උපරිම මට්ටමට පිරවීම නිසා අලින්ට ජීවත් වීමට සහ ආහාර ගැනීමට ඉඩ පහසුකම් නැති වෙලා තිනවා. ඒ නිසා මේ වැවේ අපි කියන්නේ වතුර අඩු කරලා දැනට පැමිණෙන්නේ අලි 20ක් විතර. ඒ නිසා මේ අලි මිනිස් ගැටුමත් ඇති වෙලා තිනවා. ගම්මාන වලට ඇවිල්ලා භෝග විනාශ කරනවා, මිනිස් ජීවිත විනාශ කරනවා. අපි රජයෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ ඉක්මනින්ම මේකේ 125ක් හරි මින්නේරි වැවේ ජලය අඩු කරලා ඒ අලින්ට නිජ භූමිය සකසා දෙන්න කියලා තමයි අපි ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ.
The dams also constrict the flow of two major rivers, the Kaluganga and the Abanganga, which are both rich in endemic fish.
The problem with the dam is the dam block everything because they are fish are moving. They are not sedentary animals, and they stop the moving upstream. There are some species endemic to Sri Lanka or indigenous to Sri Lanka. They go upstream for purpose of breeding or feeding or refuge. But once you block the dam doesn't provide. This is the main problem with the Kaluganga as well as the Moragahakanda. They didn't provide the fish bypasses. But in the fish bypasses, upstream migration, our fish are not that strong when compared to European or American species. So, but they move up.
While a fish ladder had been considered, this was not seen through due to budget constraints. Fish were translocated to higher parts of the river in buckets instead. While EIA processes are encouraged in Sri Lanka, they are not utilized as a planning tool, and the bare minimum is often followed.
The whole idea is now to really develop these nourishing but the sustainability comes and indeed with development in a manner that does not destroy your natural resources. So that is where the management plans on these things have to come through the ground reality sometimes are different when it comes to conflict on the money. Environment is always the one that receives the least amount of importance. Even our red listing is based on very limited data sets. So that data sometimes goes for wrong diagnosis and they will probably end up spending money on an unnecessary thing while what was requiring our attention and money would have been more not again due to making erroneous decision based on. But that is a given in the country like this because we haven't done a lot of studies. We haven't invested a lot of money to get this information. If you look at Moragahakanda, it's been diverted and in so many places. So we don't know what is the cumulative. We are only looking at individual projects. What is the cumulative impact of the river? So no one has studied so well. So those things we don't know. The money and the kind of funding that is required. It's not that we don't have it. We spend a lot of money on unnecessary nonsense in this country. But this kind of work, they don't think they are critically important. So if it is an issue of sacrificing 10 hectares of settlement versus 10 hectares of forest or wetland, always the forest and wetland is. All these laws that what is EIA, the conditions that we put, mitigation measures, EMPs, wildlife management plans, all these are there to make the world a better place. But the engineers who build it, if they see this as a hurdle, they see this as a burden, just the same way we look at getting the emission certificate and stop it. In order for it to work, you have to believe. People who are building should believe that this is something that I am not here as an engineer to build this dam. I'm here to build this dam in a sustainable manner and therefore I must respect this. Until that thinking comes, it is not going to work. It's like you need at least a year because biological systems have certain patterns, certain rhythms. The development people will sit on a project and they'll sit on it and then all of a sudden it becomes a problem and they won't be done tomorrow. And then they will ask us to deliver miracles. Our failure somehow is due to our not due to politicians, due to educated people like me not thinking and compromising our resources.
The dams inundated multiple villages inside the Knuckles forest. These people were moved to new towns, one of which is Laggala New Town.
වතුර ලයින් එක බට දාලා තියෙනවා තාම වතුර ලයින් එක දීලා නැහැ. ඒ වතුර බිව්වන් පස්සේ තමයි මිනිසුන්ට ගොඩක් ලෙඩ තියෙන්නේ. දරුවෝ ඇති වෙනවා, දරුවෝ කසාද බඳිනවා. ඒ දරුවන්ට දෙමව්පියන්ගේ දරුවන් ඉන්න තැනක් නැහැ. කසාද බැඳන් පස්සේ අලුත් පවුලක් නේ. ඒ පවුලට පදිංචිට ඉඩමක් දෙන්න නැහැනේ. ගම්මානවල නම් තියෙනවා. ලොකු ආදායමක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒ පවුල කොහෙන් හරි ඉඩම් කැල්ලක් අරගෙන ගියක් හදාගන්න. නමුත් එහෙම ලොකු ආදායමක් කරන පිරිසක් නෙවෙයි. එදිනෙදා කුලියක් කරගෙන එහෙම ජීවත් වෙන පිරිසක් නෙවෙයි. මහා ලොකු රැකියා කරන්නෙත් නැහැ, කම්පැනිත් නැහැ. ෆැක්ටරියක්වත් තියෙනවනම් කොල්ලෙක් ගිහිල්ලා වැඩ කරලා කුලියකට හරින්නේ. එහෙමත් නැහැ. මම නිදාගෙන ඉඳී මමත් ඉතින් බයේ ඉන්නේ මේක නිදාගෙන. මෙතන එහා පැත්තේ වත්තට මේ අලිය ඇවිල්ලා රෑ 11:53යි. ඉතින් ඒ ගෙදර මිනිස්සු රකින්න දානවා, ඒව මේව කරනවා. ඉතින් ඒ අලිය මෙන්න මේ පැත්තේ යනවා යන. අපේ බලාපොරොත්තු අපේ තිබ්බ සම්පත් වලට මේකත් 탁සේරුවක් ලැබිලා නැහැ. එහෙම වුණාම ඉතින් ලොකු ගැටලු කොටකට මුහුණ දෙන්න. ඒ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් අනාගතයේ දැන් වර්තමානයේ දකින්න කෙනාට දකින්න පුළුවන් යහපත් කියලා. හැබැයි තව ටිකක් ඉස්සරහට යද්දී මහා ගැටලු කොටකට මිනිස්සු මුහුණ දෙනවා.
Agriculture has not been successful during the last 7 years.
හදලා දුන්නා මුළු මහරි දවසකට ජීවිතේ හදලා ඒක ඉතින් අර එහෙ තිබුණු විදිහට සරසමක් හරියට තිබුණා වගේ නෑ මේ සැරේ වැඩ කරා නිරෝධ සාමාන්‍යයට නිරෝධ දාගෙන ඒක කරගත්තා ඒකට වතුර මුළු මේ සැරේ ඉතින් බොහොර නැතිනම් යන සාරුපසක් නෑ දවසල් කරලා සාරුපතොලි වයින්ලා නිරෝධ දාලා සම්පූර්ණ බොරල්ල පැදෙන්නේ නැතිම සලාට දෙනකම් කනවා ඉතින් තාම කුඹුරු හැදිලත් නැහැ ඒ වගේ සරු මේ කියන්නේ වතුරට හැදෙන්නේ මේ ටිකට වගේ ගන්න. ඉතින් ඒවට වෙද කියන්නේ පොහොරක් නැහැ පොහොර දාන්නත් නැහැ හොඳ වතුරක් නැහැ ගමේ ඉඳි යකඩ වගේ වතුර තිබුණේ නැහැ. බඩේ ඉන්න කරම වතුර උදර භාගයට ඉස්සර ගාවම බඩේ ඉන්නත් නැතිලා යනවා. ඒක බරක් වෙනවා කියන්නේ. නාපුවම මොන වේසමන්තයක් නෙවෙයි.
As of now, the people in Laggala get their water once in every 3 days on this bowser. But this hasn't been the case for a few.
අපේ විතර පාරේ අලුතෙන් කොන්ක්‍රීට් එකක් දාලා ඒකේ දැන් ආවුනේ යන්නේ නැහැ. අපි විඳින් වතුර අපි අතින් ගාලා. දැනට මිනිස්සු ඇවිල්ලා 7ක් විතර. වතුර දැනට අපි කෑල්ලකට විතර නැති අනිත් කොට බෙදනවා. ඒකට මේ කන්ට්‍රෝලින් තමයි ඒ වතුර බෙදන්නේ. අපිට දැන් මාස 2ක් විතර ඉන්නේ.
People are struggling to survive because viability tests conducted by officials before the translocation are not adequate. The Accelerated Mahaveli Development Program is a grand multi-purpose scheme that aims significantly at raising Sri Lankan paddy production. The Mahaveli River has multiple mega projects like the Moragahakanda Kaluganga project along its path that have resulted in considerable environmental damage. However, agriculture in Sri Lanka is failing. Chemical fertilizer bans brought about by the current regime have severely affected Sri Lankan harvests. When last questioned by the reporters, officials were not able to provide statistics of the paddy production brought about by this project since its opening in 2018. The cost-benefit payoff of projects like the Moragahakanda Kaluganga Dam are becoming extremely questionable.